appetit.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema. In this video, we'll be ranking my top 5 John Candy films. So get some popcorn, get a drink, get comfy, and let's pay tribute to the funniest man ever, John Candy.
We don't go to war.
Excuse me, stewardess. Is there a movie on this flight?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Backtrack Cinema. My name is Jason, and today we'll be going through my top 5 favorite John Candy films. So let me know in the comments what your top 5 John Candy films are, or your favorite John Candy film. Today marks the day that he passed 29 years ago. I still remember it to this day because it was very close to my birthday. I was turning 15. This guy has been my favorite comedian of all time, still is. John Candy had this warmth and this real big heart to him that just really showed off on the screen. It showed off to all his characters. He was this really naturally funny guy. Like, nothing was ever forced with this guy. He was naturally funny. You put the camera on him and he could have you in stitches. I mean, just a really lovely, lovely guy. Miss him, man. Miss him so much. But he gave us so many characters and had one of the most infectious laughs I have ever heard. No one can laugh like John Candy, you know what I mean? Just such a great, great comedian. I can't help but miss this guy, man. And I return to his movies all the time. All the time, man. And he was a far better actor than I think he was ever given credit for. Coming in at number 5 is Summer Rental.
Think of these.
Similar?
I just got them.
Who had them before you?
So when Chevy Chase did Vacation in '83, and funny enough, John Candy was in the end of that, there was a lot of slew of these summer vacation films, taking your family on a vacation and bad stuff starts happening. And Summer Rental is one of those. John Candy starring as this really stressed out air traffic control kind of guy. And he takes his family to Florida and everything goes wrong on his vacation kind of thing. But he learns to reconnect with his son. He learns to reconnect with his family and does this big sailing competition at the end. And funny enough, Richard Crenna plays the villain here, as we know from Colonel Trotman from the Rambo franchise. And he's like this little smug, sailing boat captain kind of guy who wins these trophies every year. And John Candy is this underdog, takes him on, shows to his son that, I could sail, I could do this, we could do something together. So it's really just reconnecting with his family, and the laughs are all there. This really funny stuff. One of my funniest moments in this movie is when his neighbor next door invites him over and she's had this boob job and she just like opens her chest up and she's like, so what do you think of them? And John Candy's trying not to look. He's just like, well, similar. I love Summer Rental. It's a great movie for the summertime, vacation time, that kind of thing. Great flick. Coming in at number 4 is Only the Lonely.
Oh? How much would you like today? $790.
So Only the Lonely is John Candy's rom-com, starring Ali Sheedy, Maureen O'Hara from the John Wayne classics of the 50s. I mean, she's this stubborn old mother who just depends on her son all the time, has put all this guilt on him because he feels like he has to take care of her, and he really can't have this relationship with anybody because she has always come first. And when he meets this woman, Ali Sheedy, who's very introverted, and he becomes like her rock, they fall in love. It's about them getting married, but he can't let go of that guilt he has that he has to take care of his mom all the time. And it's all about that and the journey he goes on to get to, I love this woman and I'm going to spend the rest of my life with her, and she comes first now, and getting rid of that guilt. And it's a great flick. He does some superb acting in this, John Candy. There's a scene where he gets in a fight with his mother and Maureen O'Hara, and it's fantastic. Great drama to it.
Your father never stood up to his bosses. It was time somebody set the record straight.
That night was the only time I ever heard my father cry.
Yeah, he's a far better actor than I think people give him credit for. And this film's good. It's very touching. It has the laughs, and I think you'll have a good time with Only the Lonely if you haven't seen it. Coming in at number 3 is The Great Outdoors.
Big Bird, chase! Big Bird, chase!
What is he saying?
What? Big Bird, chase me!
Great Outdoors is absolute classic. How could we forget Bart the bear in this? The bald-headed killer bear gets his ass shot off in the end of the movie. Great stuff. Another, family vacation one. This character named Chet, he wants to take his family on vacation, and his brother-in-law shows up to the same cabin resort out in the woods where he is, and just makes this guy's vacation miserable. Everything bad happens to John Candy in here. He just keeps getting more annoyed, and John Candy plays that annoyed character very well when he's getting annoyed by another character, and Dan Aykroyd just plays that really irritating character very well. But the character arc is more with Dan Aykroyd about has no connection to his family. He's been lying to his family, gotten himself in money trouble, and he really came there to see his brother-in-law to get money from him. And, it's just about family, really. Just a good old family comedy. And, I loved all the bear stuff. I love when John Candy tells the story about when he first encountered this bear. John Candy was just such a great storyteller. When the bear shows up and John Candy's like, "Big bear, chase me. Big bear, chase me." So, just funny stuff in this all around. Great humor to this, great fun. Coming in at number 2 is the classic Uncle Buck.
You ever hear of a ritual killing?
I don't get it.
You know on her face in public like that again and you'll be one.
Now, Uncle Buck is absolutely fantastic, and I've read somewhere that this is the character that John Candy was most like in real life. Like John Candy as himself, his personality, a lot of it bled through Uncle Buck. He showed up, and this it's about this uncle he's got to take care of his nieces and nephews. He's a character who really hasn't committed to anything, committed to a job, committed to his fiance. But the funny thing is, when he looks after these kids, he really looks after them. He gets to know them. He gets to know them really well and carves out a relationship with them again. And you gotta love Uncle Buck because he one thing is he protects those kids and he makes sure nothing bad happens to them. And there's a lot of great humor in this. The way he torments his niece's boyfriend Bug in this is just absolutely hilarious, man. When he makes the huge pancakes and Macaulay Culkin's his nephew and he's like, "Happy birthday," and he's got making making pancakes, putting them in the oven. He's like, "It's time to separate the men from the boys." I love this. He goes on his own little character arc, connecting with his family and committing to the relationship of his fiance. So it's fantastic. It's fantastic film. I mean, most people I talk to just absolutely love Uncle Buck. Before I give you my number 1, if you like this kind of content, like this video, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. And check out my other 80s comedy reviews that I have done in the past. And I think you'll really enjoy them. So let's get on to number 1. Coming in at number 1 is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
How could you rent the thing anyway without a credit card?
This had to be number 1. This is the funniest movie of all time for me. I like how this is a road movie. I like how these two characters meet up and how they go on this journey together and how they carve out their own friendship at the end of this. Steve Martin and John Candy, with just their chemistry was just hitting, man. Just absolutely fantastic. And this time it's Steve Martin playing the irritated character, and we got John Candy kind of being the guy who is kind of annoying, kind of irritating, but you love this guy so much. You just want to give this guy a big hug, man. And the performance of John Candy, this guy could really act, man. He could really act, when Steve Martin is, hurting his feelings and all that, and saying all these names about him, and, you smoke, you drink, wow, you're a big shower curtain salesman. Just watch the look on John Candy's face and everything. It's just how hurt he is. And then when he says this monologue, I like me, my customers like me, he's the real article. And very much John Candy in real life was the real article. He was genuine. You know what I mean? He was a genuine, loving person, man. And it really bleeds through all these characters.
I like me. My wife likes me. My customers like me. Because I'm the real article. What you see is what you get.
And it's the perfect Thanksgiving film, right? I mean, Thanksgiving in Canada here is October, but I know my American friends have it in November, and everyone talks about this film every Thanksgiving. The movie shows what Thanksgiving is about, right? Being thankful for what you have And when Steve Martin finds this character who's lost everything, who's lost his wife, lost everything. He's been, just wandering around, got no friends really, even though he's this lovely, very social person. Steve Martin's this introverted kind of guy. And it's about, be thankful for what you have because it could be all taken away from you at any minute. And I just love that. I love that message in this story and the humor. There's so many funny moments in this, when they burn the car or when John Candy's, singing Ray Charles in the car and stuff like that. The insults they're giving to each other back and forth, like the way they bitch back and forth to each other. Absolutely hilarious stuff in this. And one of those movies, I know there's rumblings of a remake. I have no interest. This is a movie I would never want to see remade. I just do not see the point. I think the movie works now. It worked back then. It's perfect, but this is my number one favorite John Candy film. I love the character in this, the humor. It just makes me feel so good at the end of this film. And it makes me miss John Candy even more. That last shot of him where he curls his lip, holding onto his hat, and he looks like the tears are swelling up. It's just, man, I miss this guy. I miss him, guys. I miss him, man. I miss him so much. He's just my favorite comedian of all time. But what is your favorite John Candy film? And if you like this video, please let me know in the comments. We'll have a good discussion about John Candy and the channel. Guys, you can recommend anything you'd like, and definitely take a look at reviewing or doing a ranking. But that will do it for me, guys. My name is Jason. This is Backtrack Cinema, and I will see you on the next video, and I will see you in the movies. Cheers.